Thank you for joining us today on A Certain Sound. We are in Matthew chapter 4, beginning with verse 1. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. We see this in the book of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. So Jesus, now we mentioned yesterday, Jesus was in the will of God. So let's talk about the circumference or the circle or the boundary, or you could say the confines of the will of God, okay? Jesus was always in the will of God. There never was a time when he was out of the will of God. Here's the circle. Everything in the circle is the will of God. Everything out of the circle is not the will of God. Jesus was always, could we say, in the circle. But here it is, Jesus in a wilderness experience, yet in the circle. I hope you see what I'm saying today. You see, Christ had the Spirit of God come upon him. The power of God. He heard the voice of God. This is my beloved Son. And now, wilderness. You see, the Israelites were led through the wilderness too. I don't know how many times we've made that point before. But the truth is, God knew what he was doing. And with you and me, he knows what he's doing. So trust him. Point number 1. In the will of God, within the circumference of the will of God, that's where you want to stay. Within the will of God, wilderness experiences are inevitable. Christ is no exception. And if the servant is not greater than his master, then we should expect the same. Or should we say nothing less than that? So I want to encourage you today. If you're going through a wilderness dark storm experience, that doesn't mean you missed it. I want to give you a verse of scripture. Isaiah chapter 50 verse 10 says, "Who is there among you that fears the Lord, that obeys the voice of his servant, yet walks in darkness and has no light? Let him trust in the name of the Lord and stay upon his God." Do you know that you can be in the dark? You can be fearing God, obeying his voice, and yet walk in darkness and have no light. My pastor used to say this, "Jerry, though you may be in the dark doesn't need to be in you." Trust him. Trust him in the light, but trust him in the dark. You see, friends, people want sometimes to bang on you. They want to nail you. They want to come down and say, "Hey, the reason you're going through this struggle is because you missed the will of God for your life." I'm here to tell you, you may not have missed it. You may have hit it. You may be actually in it. That's why you're going through it. Please know today, there is a God who loves you, a Jesus who saved you, and he'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. And it's nice to know that when you see Jesus in this experience, his victory is your victory.
Thank you for watching A Certain Sound Daily Video Devotional. Be sure to sign up for the iTunes podcast or daily email of A Certain Sound when you visit us online at www.acertainsound.com. A Certain Sound is a ministry of Word of Truth Christian Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. On behalf of Word of Truth Christian Center, I'm Sonetta. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.